Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome to the stream. We are continuing our journey. So I am building. The last couple of videos there, you saw I was building an airplane. It's a cool little airplane. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe. Paste. Yeah, still kind of working on it here. It's almost done. 3, 4. I just wanted to move the engines over a little bit. I thought they were a little... where are we? I just thought they were a little close to the body. And we'll paste that there, and we will merge. There we go. All right, so we have our helicopter. We have our airplane, our SAR airplane. Yeah, these are the modular engines. That's gonna need to be tweaked a little bit. It might need to be longer. It might need to be more crankshaft, cylinder stuff on there. They're powerful, but they just need to be tweaked. So yeah, so basically we're at the point now where I'm ready to add logic. I'm ready to add the controls here for this and this and this and this and this. So I wanted to do that on the stream before it got too busy, because on the inside, as you can see, I've started to put stuff inside the aircraft, and I'm going to have a lot of stuff in here. I really am going to go through here. We're going to put painted blocks everywhere, and I plan on putting lights on the bottom here, right? Like maybe blue or something, track lights. So when at night you can see where the seats are and all that sort of stuff, right? Just kind of add a little bells and whistles to this one that I haven't added, because I am going to be using this vehicle for a very long time. For the next little bit, anyhow. Yeah. So, as you can see, I just started adding. I just started adding a couple of things, some seats. And I just made an area here with the stuff that we had unlocked. I think I'm still going to need a few more things, a few more suits in here before we're all said and done. And then I just have a little station here. You know, maybe I'm going to add a couple more things to this side. And on this side here is going to be sort of our weather, I don't know what you want to call it. Our weather something panel. I'm going to put screens in here, right? There'll be a map and navigation screens and stuff like that. So yeah, that is where we will be going eventually. It does take off, it does fly, thankfully. So yes, I just wanted to kind of go over that. Some people were asking about microcontrollers, and some people were asking about that sort of stuff. And in this video, I am going to be going over all that. We're going to be doing a lot of microcontroller work in this video. Not this video, but in this, with this build here in particular. Going to have a lot of microcontroller work. All right, so the first thing I'm doing, I'm just kind of tidying up. This microcontroller here was just controlling the fuel and the temperature of the engine. Let's see here. But what I need to do is I need to make another microcontroller for the engines themselves. So the modular engines, they require air and fuel. And you need a mixture of air and fuel to make the modular engines work, I guess. I've never used them in any of my builds. This is the first time I've actually used it. And they're pretty powerful for obvious reasons, right? Because you can build, you know, look what we were able to build here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 24-cylinder engine, two 24-cylinder engines. So, well, actually 7, 28-cylinder engines. So yeah, I was able to do that only because of the modular engine and the way that I'm able to build with it and that sort of stuff. So that was kind of cool. I added these fins, which allow it to, here, I'll spawn it in. I'm going to turn this to seawater. So it now sits nice and flat in the water. And so what I just want to do now is start to add the flight equipment, the flight gear, stuff that's going to make it easier for us to fly. So the first thing I want to do is get some tilt sensors. Just like that. And I want to take one tilt sensor and we can put it there. And we'll take a display, okay? And all we're doing is, I don't even think I have to go inside the plane for this. Where is he? The decimal point to there. Spawn it in. All we're doing is checking the tilt. That's all. Which way is positive and which way is negative? So if I make this go down, if I can, that looks like we're going negative that way. And if I make this side go down, if I can, and we're positive. Okay. So positive is this side and negative is this side. So now we want to do is we'll just get a blank microcontroller. Essentially what this is, it's just a blank microcontroller. And we need to edit it. Let's see, what do we need here? Logic. So we need the number input from the tilt sensor. So we have tilt in, and then we need our number out. We're just going to go roll. Roll out. Perfect, just like that. Then we go inside, tilt in, and then what we need is we could use a constant number, to be honest, of 0, and then we just use a greater than and a less than, essentially, and we tilt and there. So if this is greater than 0, it's going to pump out a signal, and if this is less than 0, no, that's not gonna work. Oops. This has to be 2 individual numbers here. So as you saw, when it was tilting, we were 0001. And this one's going to be negative 0.0001. And that was pretty... That's our range. It's so finite. So now what we need to do is we need to say, what do we want the value of the rudder to be? What do we want the rudder value to be? So now we need 2 numbers, right? Well, one's going to be a positive number, so we can make this, say, 0.2, and we can make this negative 0.2, but this should probably be either 0005, and we could start with that one here, 0005, something like that, or 001. Right, as you saw there when I was jumping on the wing, just a very, very fine. So this is positive on, this is negative on, positive on, negative on. Let's get a constant number of 0. When they're off, they'll be sitting at 0, which is what we want. And then we just need one more switch here. And up will be on, down will be off. Easy peasy. That is a simple microcontroller which is going to control the pitch. So tilt in, roll out. Simple. Now, what we should do is run that through a switch. So here we'll have our roll stabilize. And then what we're going to do back here is we're going to say we want a number switch. When roll stabilize is on, the through value is going to be, well, I think that's left and right, wasn't it? Yeah, left and right. No, when it's off, it'll be left and right. And then when it's on, we will get the value from there, from our sensor. There we go. Really is that easy. Now all we have to do is make sure that we have electricity to this button here. Okay. Save it. I'm getting really low on fuel. So hopefully I have enough fuel. I don't have to go and do a fuel run in the middle of all these tests, but I might have to. All right. Oh, I probably could have erased that. Okay, so if we, let's see, turn all this on, and I want to put the roll stabilizer on just for takeoff. Side light, throttle's on. Okay, so the roll stabilizer is on, and you'll see now if I turn, that's pretty good. Okay, it's keeping us nice and I'll straighten out here. All right, so the wind is pretty intense. So we'll load it up here, and all that means is we have to increase that value, right? So the value that I set wasn't strong enough. It's not strong enough to fight the wind. So we need something that is strong enough to fight the wind. Probably end up cranking it right up to like 0.2 or 0.3. Just a full value. It's a little deceiving in career mode because I can't test it in full strength winds. I'll have to wait for a storm and then fly through a storm, and that's the only way we'll really be able to test the plane. Let's see. Right, but essentially at this point in time, this is it. This is it. Essentially. I would crank that up maybe here to number 3. Something like that. Update that. Spawn this. Whoa. Now, if we take off, it should hopefully have the ability to fight the wind. Okay, what did I do there? Oh, that was weird. Touch pressure. Yeah, weird. Alright, everything's good. Huh. Alright. So this full power, this full power. It's starting to get dark too, which is nice, and then that way I can develop the, we'll turn the roll stabilizer on. We have our, this is our engine temperature. Oh yeah, there we go. So it's incredibly windy right now, which is why it's having trouble. And of course, I don't have the instrument, so I'm not sure if we're... I'm not too sure if we're going up or down. But what I do know is it's pretty windy. Maybe I'll have to adjust the numbers here. Oh, we don't want to crash. See if I can straighten this out here. Without any instrument. Probably shouldn't be doing that. Right, so slowly is rolling over to the one side. So I'll have to load too far away to go back. So let's load that, figure out why it's slowly rolling to the one side. That would be the negative side. So it's banking right, but not left. Let's see if it's something in the... What's up with the microcontroller? So our tilt sensor comes in. Could be the 0. Let's see, not 0, 0, 0, 1. No, I got this all buggered up. So what I need is yeah, greater than and a less than. And if A is greater than, and I should have left it the way it was. I should have just left it at 0. I think it's probably what the problem is. If that is greater than 0, then, and if this number is less than 0, go through it, and that should be -1, and that should be +1. Maybe, I don't know. I'll find it. Let's see how much fuel I got. Oh. Oh yeah, looks like they're kind of moving a little bit there. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So now I can probably dial those down a little bit. As you can see, the airplane is now banking left to right. Yes. So that's how we are able to achieve stability. All right, so I'm going to load the autosave because I'm too far away there. Excuse me. And yeah, so I'll dial those in. And now I think I can try and work on like an altitude hold. I think what I'm going to do, what I've learned is there's 3 different ways I guess you can build all these things, right? So for me, I think what I'm going to do is we'll either use a throttle, which is going to be like hard control for the rudders to give them a set value. Or I'm going to use a keypad to give the rudders a set value. I don't know if I have the keypads unlocked. And that way, let's say for takeoff, I can say, okay, we need a 0.2, you know, whatever the degree is, right? It needs to go up by 0.2 instead of an altitude hold. And then that way, the nose of the plane wants to go down, and I think that has to do with I'm not using aircraft propellers. I'm using rotor. What are they here? These ones here, rotor end lights. So they have the collective on them. And if right now the collective or the pitch on them, and right now the pitch is set to W. So when I take off, it gives it a constant value of 1. And then of course when you let go of W, it returns that value to 0. And I think that's why the plane wants to kind of go down. So I guess there's sort of 2 options here. I can either try and play around with the pitch on the propellers and see if I can give it a set value of like 0.001, and maybe that'll be enough to fight the wanting to go down. Yeah, anyway, something like that. Basically what we need to do now is figure out our pitch, what we want to do for our pitch and how we want to control that. So in the past, I was using these rudders in the rear, and I would do the same thing that I did with the tilt there. Greater than or less than 0. But the problem with that is there a problem with that? I don't think there is, actually. I think we could probably do that. Let's see here. Let's see. So we'll take another tilt sensor. This has to be the center, and we want this to be in the center of the plane. All right, and then I guess we can do the same thing. Make another display. Change the decimals. set that to seawater. All right, so now it's giving us a negative value. So negative value, and look at our so you see the plane, the angle of the plane, and you see that value we're getting, 0.01. That's pretty sharp. Okay, that's a pretty sharp angle at 0.01. So all right, so negative is up and positive is down. So essentially, we'll try and do the same thing here. We need a pitch in number. Oops. And then we need another number, and this will be pitch out. And this will be an output. It should be the same. We'll go to the microcontroller. All right, we'll get this out of the way here. We don't need this anymore. Okay, so I guess this will be the same thing. Greater than, less than. What do we need? Constant number of 0, 0, 0. Greater than, less than, and then we need constant numbers for the rudders. And then we need another 1, 2, 3. All right. Oh, and we'll need one more constant number, the 0. So I guess it's how do we want to adjust this? So if we, let's see, if we set this to, we could say 0.5, and we could say negative 0.5. And of course, 0 can be our off. This is our negative. This is our positive. On, off. All right. On, off. That should work for our pitch. Haven't considered flaps, haven't considered flaps. Like, what do you mean, the control surfaces or whatever, instead of the rudders? Thanks for joining the stream. I really appreciate it. All right, so we'll do pitch goes to, was this inverted? No, the roll was inverted. Oh yeah, the pitch was inverted. All right, so we can do that. Can we do that? Because I had WMS going there. Well, we're gonna need another switch box. Gonna need another switch box here, and this will be our on value, and then where is it here? W and S can be our off value. There we go, and that can go to there, and then this will be pitch control. Oh, I'm just being lazy. Instead of using like the function blocks, I'm just being lazy. It's gonna get pretty complicated here moving forward. So I'm just trying to. Okay, so we do that. Let's see. Then if I spawn that in, I guess I could have gotten rid of that. Let's see. So we spawn the plane in. All right, looks good. Yeah, if you're wondering about the plane, I put up a couple of videos there. Me building it so you can see how the fuselage works. I don't know if I put the modular engines on there. I'm going to explain. I'm going to go through that. So it's off, and it looks like we're kind of neutral. And then if we put the pitch control on, yes, you see the blades. All right. So let's take off and see if we can. Let's see here. Diesel, okay. Let's see if I don't have to touch the rudders. If it's enough just to have the rotors here pitching forwards and backwards. That would actually be pretty cool. All right, so this goes on. We'll put the roll stabilizer on. Systems inside. Oh yeah, not bad. Now it's just a matter of refining it. Slowly losing altitude, obviously, because the way that it's pitching. That's pretty good. See, now if I put an altitude control in there and use that to that's pretty good. Yeah, there we go. Now it's just a matter of adjusting them so they're not so hard on the airplane, and maybe it'll actually hold up nice like that when it turns. Yeah, a speed controller. Yeah, no, that makes total sense. All right, so I'm gonna load the autosave here, and then I guess now I'm pretty much ready to put in the rest of the controls, the basic controls, and then we can find a mission and try and test this thing out. So we'll start with, I guess we'll start with altitude control. And let's see. Take this, put that to seawater, because we'll probably be spawning it in and out several times. So let's see, if I'm sitting here, I'm going to move these two dials, the temperature, and I want compass. This ball here, and then I also want work, and then all right, let's see here. Dial here. I have an altimeter. I do. This is just going to be real basic. Like I say, I'll be upgrading everything to touchscreens in that later on. So I don't want to get too crazy involved. Just some basic equipment. Let's see, and then maybe a clock. Why not? Hey, let's go all out. And I think it's got a... I don't know what that input is for something, number input. I don't know if it comes in from a GPS or something. I don't know. Anyways. All right, so we've got that. Let's see what other kind of necessary dials. Can't use the GPS yet until we get... Oh, probably a speed. Let's see here. Sensor, angular speed sensor, linear speed sensor. There we go. This in the front. Do I want to dial? No, we'll do this. Put a display. We'll put speed up right here. That'll look cool. And we'll say no decimals. Something like that. Like I said, I don't want to get too involved because I'm going to be putting in a touch screen here shortly. As soon as I get there, the research points here. Inside light, brakes, systems. All right. These two lights here make this blue. I don't know about the lighting. It's not sufficient at all, but it's not dark enough. I'll have to wait for it to get dark before I can change that. This is temporary. This stuff here is temporary. I'll be putting it inside the plane, and then the engines obviously are going to have like a casing around them eventually. I'm still testing the plane, so I don't want to close in the engines. I think I might make them a little bit longer. Potentially add one more radiator, just to give them a little bit more power. So the next thing I want to do now is have a controller for the engine. I want to have a throttle on here for the engine. And I don't know, let's see, maybe here. So what we need is the engine. The modular engine has air and it has fuel. That's right, it has air and it has fuel. So what we need is two inputs. One for air and one for fuel. Air, and this will be fuel. Okay, and then we need, do I need an output? Let me see, how do I want this to go? We need a constant number out. We need a number out. Fuel and air, I guess. Let's see here. We need an input. This could be a number input. This could be the fuel air throttle. Right, and then we're going to need the output. output for that. We need 2 outputs. Alright, and this will be fuel. And this will be air, I think. Alright, so how do I want to design this? Let's see. Okay, so our fuel air throttle comes in. And that is going to take... That number is basically just going to go to here. And then what we want is a divide block and then a constant number. And we want to divide that by 0.5. Alright, perfect. And it should be like that because it's 2 to 1. Air to fuel is 2 to 1. So that should be a simple controller for the air. And okay, so now what? Let's see if it works. Fuel. Connect that to our fuel manifold. And our air, take that, connect that to our air manifold. Alright. So now if I throttle up and down, it should be controlling. Well, let's see. We'll put in an RPS. Just so I can see if this is actually going to work. RPS. That would be cool. A big water skimmer would be nice. Just kind of just sits there. All right, so we'll get the RPS reading from the engine. And then what I also want to do is throttle, go in here. Fuel, air, throttle. Okay. Let's see. What's it looking about? Doesn't have a backlight and what's this dial here? Who knows? Altitude. Zero. This here. Where's my system? Systems. All right. Put that back to diesel. Spot this guy. Now, in theory, I think I had this at 20. Nope, we don't need that. Systems, throttle lever, 100%. This will crank up to 20. Right, crank that up. All right, what's going on here? Let's see. Oh, because we need a. I did this wrong. Actually, this isn't gonna work. This isn't gonna work. Okay. So we could either do, instead of this being the. All right, let's change this. Actually, where's the fuel throttle? Fuel air throttle. I'm going to change this to a number to on off, and I'm going to change these to 2 constant numbers. All right, and this one's going to be 0.2, and this one's going to be 0.4. So we can do that, and then we can have a number switch. Let's see how do I do this. Let's see. 2 number switches maybe. On, and then we'll just have a constant value of 0. Yeah, there we go. And that way we can turn the engine off when we're not using it. There we go. All right. I guess I could adjust this. Oh, I see the problem here. I got them reversed. Duh. It's not gonna work. So it probably would have worked the first time if I didn't have the values reversed. So I guess that'll work. I just can't change the. The ratios. Does that even matter? It probably doesn't matter, honestly, at this point in time. We're just going to update it like that. And why do I say it doesn't matter? It doesn't matter. I just want to be able, because the aircraft is calibrated for whatever it's calibrated for. I suppose in a storm, it might be nice to be able to crank up, to get a little bit more output on the engine. But what I'm going to do is, what am I going to do? I'm going to make these engines longer. So they're already going to have more power. They're inherently going to have more power in them. So I don't want to adjust that air ratio, because I'll have to adjust it again when I extend these engines. Right? We're going to add another, I don't know, maybe 12 cylinders or something on there. They're going to be pretty powerful. All right, so let's test this out. Let's see if we can fly this thing here. Explained why it was going so slow. I did no power to that one. There's power. It's confusing there. Sorry, trying to make sure everything is connected here. Ready to go. Boy. Coffee time here pretty soon. What's up? Okay. Yeah, there we go. So we'll turn that on. Turn all this on. Let's stabilize our systems. There we go. Okay. So now engine RPS is 53, slowly gaining altitude. This is our speed in meters per second. I'm going to put on the... I'm going to put on the pitch control and just see if we'll... Yeah, see, we're slowly losing altitude. And that obviously has to do with the that. I'm gonna have to soften this pitch number, but that's okay. Soften the pitch control. Now what I want to do is hold the autosave. We'll go back. The next step is going to be wiring in having a set point for the rudders for the pitch. So I'll have to see if I have keypads unlocked. And then that way I could set it to like 0.1 or something, right? And that way it's slowly gaining altitude. Holy, chat's just bumping today. My goodness. Picked the right time to stream. Working on my airplane there, Sir Horn. Trying to turn it into a nice SAR aircraft here if we can. Okay, so let's see here. Let's go inside of this. This is fine for now. On off engine, right? I can tweak those values. I think this is the pitch here. Yeah, pitch in. So we can change that maybe to 0.2. And we can change that to 0.2. And then we'll take this controller here, which is our roll controller. And we can say that is too much. And maybe 0.2 is going to be a little bit better. I wonder if 0.2 is still going to be a fair amount. Well, I guess, you know, here I'm thinking like I'm not really thinking right. At the end of the day, if you fly into a storm, you're probably not going to be autopiloting your way through it. I mean, you might if you have a pretty good plane, you just autopilot right through it. But in a small little plane like this, I probably wouldn't be autopiloting through a storm. So with that in mind, I can always just manually take control of the aircraft. All right, so let's see how smooth it is now that we've adjusted everything down by quite a bit. Yeah, that's a lot smoother. That's a lot smoother. Okay, now let's try our pitch control. Alright, so the only thing we can do now Alright, I'll fly back and then I'll see if I can just go into the workbench over there. Yeah, I think now all I need to do is just set a constant value for the rear rudder. And that would be enough. Skipping the water. should be able to just cut it like that. No, hop up before it explodes into a ball of fire. Okay. Right, so that worked, and that worked, and that worked. And now what I want to do is, do I have the keypads? I do. Excellent. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is I want to set up a keypad here. And this will be our... This will be our pitch control. Okay, and then in the back of the plane, we'll get another switch. Another number switch. Can go there. Oh, and then we also need a button for that. I haven't used the seat yet, so there is going to be some buttons. Let's see. Yeah, you know what? I wonder if I want to turn it on. Let's try this. Let's turn it on with the pitch control. That might be better. Okay, and then we take all these values here. And this will be our on value. No, that'll be our off value. Oh yeah, because that's going out to the routers. Okay, so this one here is going to be our, what did I say was our on value? No, we want that to be our off value, and then the on value is going to be this little guy here, the keypad. That's right. Get confused here. All right, and then this is going to come out to the routers. All right, something like that. And then we are going to take our systems button. You know what, let's do this. Let's put the pitch control dial on there. And that way when the pitch control is active, this will be active and we'll know. That's our altitude. I also want one more dial for the fuel. And then he gets his value from there. We'll go to systems. Just make sure he's got electricity. Okay, that is keypad's all wired up. We're all wired up. Let's test that out here. All right. All right, so take that. And set that to like now. Maybe that needs to be inverted. It's gotta be. go. So it's slight. Halfway. Halfway. Getting up and down. Yeah, I was using the PIDs, then I couldn't understand. Yeah, so I guess I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm the only one who's probably going to be using the plane anyway, so if I just have to set that up. Maybe what I'll do is I'll set an alarm on the altitude, so when it gets below 100 or 200, there'll be a buzzer here, and it'll be like a low altitude warning. Yeah, it's just like we're between. Oh yeah, I can slow it down too with the collective. There we go. It's actually pretty stable. This engine, I tested, it gets to about 70 and then that's it. It doesn't get any colder than that. Alright, that works. So I'll just have to adjust the gear to this. Yeah, I'll put a helmet on it too. That's what I'll do. I'll do that as an extra. It's pretty loud. It's nice. Oh, that's the seaport down there, eh? Yeah, way out by the seaport already. That sounds like a lawnmower, doesn't it? Yeah, I'll have to balance. I'll use it enough. There'll be a balance somewhere. Cool. Now I need to work on the lights as well. blinking lights on this thing. I don't really know what. I'll have to look at that. What aircraft typically have blinking lights on the bottom. Well, the RPS, we're running at 55 RPS. We're doing 71. I don't actually have the temperature hooked up. I'll do that after. Once I get back to base still. Yeah, maybe I'll add the rudders to the pitch control as well. Maybe that'll give enough. Keep it in the air here. I mean, if I add 2 more engines to it, it'll have more than enough power. If I expand these engines, make them a little bit longer, they should have more than enough power to stay in the air. Making sure I'm not too far away from the workbench there. All right. Yeah, so we can either run it through. And run it through there. I could run it through here. Which guy was this guy? Let's try that. That's gonna have to be adjusted way down. We're gonna be doing that. Yeah, I got the collective pitch lever in the cockpit, yeah. So it can take off. I didn't want to use a gyro and run everything through that. I just trusted the seat. Probably not the way it should go, but. Yeah. Alright, I'll put a helmet in the cockpit this time. Pilot mask, just a handset, probably. That'll work. Yeah, here I'll take off. I'll take off with no thrust on the propellers. I was just trying to get as much. It's hard to get out of the water. The water is really sticky. It sucks you in. So I'm trying to get as much lift as I can, right? So if we just do, I don't even need the takeoff rudder, to be honest. Right, you see how we're just sitting in the water without the collective? Whoops. Yeah, temp gauge. I'll give you guys a temp gauge here. Let's see. I think there was two, actually. There was temperature and whatever the other one is. Let's see. We've got the fuel. Yeah, heat. That's this one here. Temperature. Oh, let's see. Systems. Save it. I fell off. No. All right, inside lights. Let's see here, systems. This might be a difficult takeoff. That's right, you guys wanted to see the heat. So I'll fly for a little bit just to, whoops. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's so quiet. Yeah, right. It's nice. Sure likes to dive. Temperature is at 32.5 degrees. So what I did is I also spawned, I added these small water tanks for the modular engine. So that way when it spawns in with fresh water inside the cooling system. Just do that actually. Yeah, you know, if I set up a PID and I set it to the collective on these rotors, I'll be able to have an easier time with an altitude hold than the way I'm doing it right now, actually. Oh, there you go, 39 degrees. Barely even getting hot. Yeah, now I got to think about lights. Some navigation lights on here, some lights on the bottom. And, who knows? Better lights on the inside. Whoa, whoa. Just easier that way. What are we at here? 50? I know some people were having problems, weren't they? Where they would just heat up and explode, right? With the engines. Right, so a few more sensors. Like I said, I'll put in a low altitude buzzer, and I'll put in a few more things just to kind of make navigation a little bit easier on this thing. And then we'll probably be ready to run a mission. Let's see what we can do. Well, I'll have to get fuel, actually. I'll have to get fuel before we can run a mission. I need to do a fuel run. Yeah, get low on fuel. Holy moly. Still heating up. 55 RPS. Should peak here eventually. Yeah, I'm going to change this around. This is all just a temporary setup. I have a false, like a map thingy, a night vision thingy I want to put in here, a screen. So I'm just basically waiting until I get monitors. And as soon as I get monitors, I'm going to be upgrading this whole dash. So I don't want to do too much. I don't want to go too crazy, because eventually all this will be digital in the not too distant future. Yeah, it is getting late. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm gonna be pausing the stream here in just a bit. 4:30 a.m. My goodness, it's early. Hasn't really slowed down the cooling. It's still going up at a pretty steady clip. What time is it here anyways? Oh yeah, it's only 8:30 here. My goodness, it's still young. The night is still young. Oh, I should not have tapped out there. Oh my goodness. It's a good thing I was high up in the air. I'm just using 2 radiators in here. That's the coolant system. So I don't even know if it's going to work. These guys. 2 radiators, and I have a freshwater. They have a couple of freshwater valves or whatever, freshwater tanks. So. Hasn't peaked yet. We've gone almost 30 kilometers. That's not bad. I'll go over it here in just a moment here. I'll reset and go over it. Try and save a little bit of fuel if I can. I don't have any pumps. No, I'm just using whatever's on the modular engine. The only pumps I have are fuel pumps for the engine, and that's it. It's not bad. I don't know where it's going to peak, but I expect it to peak 85, 90. It's already starting to slow down now a little bit. I can see it there. So what? It'll just constantly overheat? Let's see if I run out of fuel, or if we can find this peak here on the radiator system. Gee, birds, this thing can go for a while before it overheats. Holy moly. Yeah, the air temperature, right. Yeah. do some more testing here later on, maybe. Just go fly until it overheats, I guess. Steady increase though. That's like I said, it's not slowing down yet. I don't know what the explosion temperature is on the modular engines. I haven't reached it yet. All right, yeah, I get what you guys are saying. It probably should have peaked by now, and the fact that it's just continuing to get hotter and hotter and hotter probably means that the cooling system doesn't work. Yeah, 55.3. Just one pump in the cooling loop. I'll just assume that I'll just load it here. I'll just assume that it's probably not set up properly. Show you what I got. Like a pump in the cooling on the cooling system to help force flow through. Yeah, because I've got it set up like this. There's the modular engine pump, which is this piece here. And it brings the coolant out. Oh, you know what? I see where I screwed up. I should have done that. Is what I should have done. There we go. That'll make a lot more sense. Yes. Now it's a complete system. Alright, well let's try this out. Let's try this out. Oh, I must have that hooked up to a button, because as soon as I turn systems on, it goes to 100%. Cool. Yeah, I've got the pump on the modular engine itself. I have the modular engine pump, and then I have 2 radiators, and then I have 2 small tanks, and the 2 small tanks are full of fresh water, and that's to deliver fresh water to the radiators. So that way they have the fresh water in the system. Now it seems to be going up. It seems to be escalating even more. Oh, I only have the cooling manifold, so I'm going to need to add a pump to it. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Somewhere? See, so it was probably just depleting the fresh water from the tanks, and then once it runs out of fresh water, they just overheat and explode. On the return or the which side? We'll just do this. Find out which way this is flowing first. Fluid A and fluid B. Okay, I'm gonna need to pause this for a minute. I'll be back. I gotta go check on my kids. Thanks. I'll be back. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing.